The impact of this tragedy will be felt for years. A DPS officer hit and killed on a Valley freeway. He was laying down stop sticks trying to end a chase when another officer accidentally crashed into him. He was rushed to the hospital, but he later died. This all began when a DPS officer tried to pull over a woman near 56th Street and the Loop 101. She was driving a car with stolen plates. Now, this chase then went onto the freeway. Officer Chris Morano was hit at the 7th Street exit on the 101, and police were finally able to arrest the driver near 5th Avenue and Tonopah.
Now, the woman, Carrie, who was found hiding on the porch of the home, she refused to follow orders, so officers sent in a police dog to go after her, and she was eventually arrested last night. Tonight, she's in the hospital waiting to be booked into jail. And meantime, the family of Officer Morano, they are dealing with a horrible, tragic loss tonight. Mark Martinez joins us live with more on the fallen officer. Mark.
Yeah, John, it's been a very difficult and emotional day here at DPS headquarters in Central Phoenix. Behind me is the memorial to fallen officers, and people have already started to leave signs of condolences for the Morano family. His fellow officers and friends are stunned by his death and by the news that the young patrolman was struck down by another DPS officer's patrol car during that chase last night. 28-year-old officer Chris Morano becomes the first Arizona law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty this year.
It's a terrible tragedy, and it's compounded by the fact that it's a week before Christmas.
Morano was a 5-year veteran of the Navy. He joined the DPS force 3.5 years ago and was the father of a 7-year-old, 5-year-old twins, and a 4-month-old baby.
How do you tell a 4-month-old or a 5-year-old their dad's not going to be home for Christmas ever again?
Flags at DPS fly at half-staff today in Morano's memory. His name will now be added to the memorial to fallen officers. It's a tragedy DPS says could have been prevented if the suspect, 43-year-old Georgia Baker, had stopped instead of trying to run.
All she had to do was stop, pull over to the shoulder, and there would never have been a pursuit or this tragic collision resulting in the death of Officer Morano.
The entire department reeling tonight over this loss, especially the officer whose patrol car struck Morano.
He knows he struck the officer, and now he knows that his actions contributed to the officer's death. He's having a very difficult time with that, as you can well imagine.
The woman DPS officers were chasing, Georgia Lynn Baker, is believed to have been under the influence of drugs last night. She has a long criminal history in the state of Arizona dating back to 2000. She's had several burglary and theft arrests. She even served time in Perryville prison. Today she had surgery for injuries from a police dog bite during that arrest. She will now be facing a felony murder charge for the death of Officer Morano. We have learned that the officer was from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He graduated high school there in 2000. And again, he became a member of the DPS force about 3.5 years ago. Tonight, no word on funeral or memorial arrangements. Reporting live at DPS headquarters, Mark Martinez, Fox 10 News.
Governor Jan Brewer releasing a statement about the loss of Officer Morano. It reads in part, "I am deeply saddened and heartbroken over the tragic loss of an honorable Arizona Department of Public Safety officer who lost his life in the course of fulfilling his trusted duty. I ask that all citizens of Arizona join me in thoughtful prayer and sincere reflection for the precious family of Officer Chris Morano, as well as all the personnel and families at the Department of Public Safety." Governor Brewer also ordered flags be flown at half-staff today.